The very few people who actually took the time to watch The Acolyte have been melting down on social media over YouTubers simply not enjoying the product themselves. And of course, now the Mary Sue is coming out saying the Star Wars fandom demands action from YouTube against the quote, racist and sexist fans. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, these people believe that they are always in the right and that what they say should go, that platforms like YouTube should always listen to them because they know what's best, even though they have no clue what they're talking about. It says, though, a major issue in the Star Wars fandom is the platforming of sexist, racist trolls, parading themselves as fans of the franchise. These men pretend their horrific and disgusting takes are just concern over the stories. Now, fans of Star Wars are calling out YouTube for not demonetizing them. There has been, over the past couple of days, this coordinated effort to try to get these content creators removed from the platform, and it has been an epic failure. Even Team YouTube themselves made a response to rewriting Ripley and the Mary Sue, saying, no, we checked over their content and it's perfectly fine because they're not being sexist, racist trolls. They are simply criticizing a product that a company put out. And just because it happens to have a woman or a person of color in it does not instantly mean it's okay to call them sexist or racist. They're criticizing a product, and at the end of the day, they are allowed to do that. But they want anybody they view as the opposition silenced, right? The Mary Sue rewriting Ripley and the few fans that they have been melting down over YouTube not demonetizing these channels. It says existing online as a Star Wars fan can be tough. But yeah, being a Star Wars fan in totality is tough because Disney's putting out such garbage right now because they've thrown away what made Star Wars so special in the first place in order to chase those DEI dollars. It says if you enjoy a Star Wars story that was made by Disney, you face hatred online because you're not a good enough fan. If you enjoy the franchise, you are allowed to enjoy Disney Star Wars. Hell, I talk about this all the time, and as I'm going to say right here, the people at the Mary Sue are allowed to like Star Wars or new Star Wars, and they are allowed to have a platform because I'm not a lunatic. I don't want my critics deplatformed like they do. They are allowed to post this disinformation, but on the flip side, it is our responsibility to call all of it out, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. They're saying YouTube personalities fostering this vitriol were called out all weekend by fans. Nerdrotic, Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost, and Geeks and Gamers were all named in a move to deplatform those who use hate as a way to make money on YouTube, and of course, they all link back to rewriting Ripley, a group that was started a couple of years ago, and their main focus was to get critics of Disney Star Wars totally and completely silenced and deplatformed, which is so freaking pathetic. They are manufacturing a fandom that's relatively small. I mean, 75,000 people signed the petition to save the Acolyte, and hey, 75,000 people is quite a bit, but judging by the numbers for the Acolyte and apparently the few people that decided to, sign this petition, that's not enough individuals to revive a pile of trash that cost Disney over $180 million to make, because at the end of the day, there was no one to watch it in the first place. And we've seen so many petitions over the years, like the Amber Heard one for Warner Brothers that had over 15 million signatures, and they still didn't remove her from Aquaman. I do not see a way that you are going to get YouTube as a major platform to demonetize these individuals, because there's petitions for that, but also for Disney to revive the Acolyte. You should have gotten your friends to watch it in the first place, but you guys have no influence anymore, and they cannot stand that. I mean, they're listening to the people in their echo chamber. It is a vocal minority of individuals who actually like Disney Star Wars, and again, they're allowed to like it, but we are allowed to criticize it. Now, of course, because the Mary Sue is a feminist rag sheet, they've decided to devolve the conversation to gender, and they're saying that I don't think men actually like Star Wars anyway, which is hilarious given the fact that just a few years ago, their narrative was, oh, Star Wars was only made for men. So who made Star Wars successful in the first place? Who made Star Wars money? Because if it wasn't the men, and the men don't actually like Star Wars, do you really think that Star Wars would have only made money based on their female viewership? Absolutely not. Yes, there are plenty of females who like Star Wars. I used to absolutely love Star Wars, and I don't anymore. And of course, I'm a woman, and well, all of the content that they're making that is female focused has not drawn me in. It's really only pushed me away. Now they're saying, unsurprisingly, there are other fans of Star Wars claiming that is what happened as an attack. One notable grifter who makes his own bad lightsabers and sells them wrote, trying to deplatform anyone over not liking a form of media is the most vile, disgusting act there is, which I totally and completely agree with. The Mary Sue, rewriting Ripley, and all of their followers do not care about allowing people to have a discussion about something. No, they just dumb the conversation down to you're being a racist, you're being sexist, or you're being toxic and you're harassing people, therefore you should be deplatformed, which in my opinion is not okay, and it's never going to be okay. If there are more women and people of color leading projects in Hollywood and video games, then yes, you are going to see a quote ramp up of backlash towards women and people of color, but that's not because we're becoming more sexist and racist. It's simply that when you have a higher percentage of people in projects and we criticize them, you're going to see that shift. It's going to be noticeable. That's just the way that the world works. It's like if we saw 50% more women added to video game teams and we don't like those projects because of other reasons, yeah, they're going to simply face the amount of backlash they would. It's just that these individuals will spin the stories to call us racist and sexist without pointing out the freaking obvious here. And that's all the Mary Sue is doing. They are completely disingenuous. And this is why nobody takes them seriously. It's why when you see the Mary Sue name, you instantly point and laugh because these people are fucking jokes. They're saying that fans are demanding action from YouTube when really they're just talking about the people that are in their echo chamber. They are not looking at the bigger picture, which is Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kindle. They have millions of fans who enjoy their content, and that's not millions of people who are racist and sexist. It's simply millions of people that, yes, sometimes are criticizing pieces of media. In this case, we're talking about Star Wars, but they don't care about having genuine conversations. They simply care about silencing their critics, which is disgusting. So I will be keeping my eye on this situation, but so far, Nerdrotic, Ryan Kindle, Geeks and Gamers have all massively won against these losers. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.